Seinen anime and manga has been a cornerstone of this channel, explored for its complex character arcs, morally gray dilemmas, grounded storytelling, and the way it dares to reflect the messiness of real life. Countless hours have been dedicated to dissecting fine details that make this genre resonate so deeply. And now you as a viewer have the chance to shape its future. For once you're not just the audience, you're part of the decision-making process that goes into deciding the fate of stories. A rare opportunity has emerged to directly influence seinen storytelling by casting your vote to determine which of 16 brand new series will continue serialization in Kodansha's Young magazine. This isn't just a popularity contest, it's a chance to shape what stories get told next. So allow me to explain. Normally, the future of a manga series is determined by its popularity among readers in Japan. That domestic reception plays a heavy role in what gets serialized long term, leaving international fans little to say in the outcome. This can lead to a dilemma when the domestic readers don't feel as strongly about certain stories that international readers are passionate about. That dynamic of only listening to domestic readers has begun to shift. In this case, readers in the US have the rare opportunity to directly influence the future of 16 new manga series by voting after reading their initial chapters. This is your chance to show what you like and what you want to see more of. The 16 titles up for voting span a wide range of genres: sci-fi, gritty cyberpunk, psychological horror, emotional character dramas, slice of life. Whether your favorites continue depends on your actions. Your vote could be the deciding factor in if a story continues or ends. This is more than just a chance to read up-and-coming stories. It's a chance to shape the manga landscape itself. This vote will show the industry just how big the market for manga and anime is overseas, and just how much we wish to be involved in the conversation when it comes to the future of stories we love. So make sure to show out. These manga involved in the voting process will be available in the physical Young magazine to be handed out at Kinokuniya stores as well as Anime NYC. They're also available on Kodansha's K-Manga app and official X accounts for digital reading. Now, as to which I recommend you read first, allow me to point your attention to Protocol Ryugu. In a bleak future, there lies a dying Earth, consumed by a new ice age. Nearly all habitable land has been swallowed beneath snow and frost. What remains is a narrow band of survivable terrain, stretched across the equator, a final refuge for humanity, awaiting the age of extinction. Naturally, chaos erupted as people fought to decide how the last scraps of life should be governed. Those who lost the battle for control were cast out, exiled to the ocean's depths. But instead of dying off, these banished souls adapted, evolved into new forms of life entirely, alien-like aquatic creatures of the abyss, reshaped by desperation and time. This premise is brilliantly delivered in the first few panels of Protocol Ryugu, immediately immersing you in a world both staggering in scale and rich in imagination. From there, the story doesn't slow though, it continues to expand. Page after page unravels with originality, carried by artwork that captures both the haunting beauty of the deep sea life and the decaying hope of the surface. The narrative pulls us into a brutal and fascinating conflict between land dwellers and the deep sea homo abyss. Their conflict is not just a war for territory, it's a war of ideology, survival, and belonging. Caught between these two fractured worlds is our protagonist, a character who defies classification. He walks a razor's edge between loyalty and betrayal, never fully accepted by either side, working as a double agent of sorts, but more so for himself. Yet that sense of who he is becomes troubled. The ocean sees him as impure, the surface sees him as a threat. He faces discrimination, alienation, and the emotional toll of wearing multiple masks just to survive. His inner conflict only increases with the news of a potential child on the way, and a question of what world that child may inherit comes to mind. He's in a position to decide what fate he serves, yet his genealogy pressures him. It's here where Protocol Ryugu begins to explore something far deeper than war or mutation. It explores the psychological corrosion of duality, what happens to a person when their identity is divided between two worlds, when every interaction is a performance, every truth twisted by necessity. Compartmentalization becomes a survival tactic, but also a curse. The longer he plays both sides, the more he loses sight of just who he is. He spends more energy managing perception than living, his thoughts consumed with contradictions. Every half-truth is a gamble. Every glimpse of vulnerability is another mask worn for effect. And slowly, that emotional hollowness begins to consume him. What does he truly want? The life of a surface dweller, raising their child in the remnants of Earth, or devotion to the god of the sea who offers purpose, even if it demands sacrifice? These questions linger beneath every scene, taunting him and us as the story unfolds. That's only the beginning. Within the first 70 pages, Protocol Ryugu introduces a staggering number of plot threads, from political conspiracies to the existence of land dwellers with a mutated gene that allows them to control UFOs. The world feels alive with possibility, danger, and mystery, as all these various factions butt heads both internally and with one another. Every corner of this world begs to be explored, every character's motive shrouded in shades of gray. What will become of this fractured Earth, with its frozen horizon creeping ever closer to what remains? What faction will seize control before time runs out? Will our protagonist be the bridge between two species, or the spark that ignites their mutual destruction? If there's any justice in this vote, Protocol Ryugu will earn its place among the serialized works moving forward. But even with how strongly this one resonated, it wasn't the only story that caught my eye. All 16 series are deserving of your votes, from the fantasy lands presented in stories like The Journey of a Dark Elf and Fasciation, to the space punk worlds in Project Metallica and The Last Terrain. It's fascinating reading and peering into these detailed worlds, carefully planned and drawn. And to be honest, I'm curious about what you're voting for, so be sure to share your top 5 in the comments. Now, in terms of voting, there are 2 things you can do. On X, each like and repost counts as a vote, which are valid across all down-thread posts related to the target work. So just by interacting with the series, you're helping it be picked. And finally, on the website links down below, you can vote once per day on the same work or a different one. That's entirely up to you. But before you go cast your voice, I really recommend giving the first chapters of each manga a read. They're well worth it, because this vote isn't just about reading new stories. We're standing at the edge of something rare. A moment where international readers, you, actually get a say in what shapes the future of manga. Normally these decisions are made without people like you and I being able to show studios our love and desire for stories to continue. But this time, the doors have opened, and your voice carries weight. So whether it's the psychological unraveling of a double agent in a post-apocalyptic sea world, or a completely different world that speaks to you more, this is your chance to make sure the stories that move you don't disappear. So read, reflect, and vote, because the future of these series don't just belong to its publishers. It belongs to readers bold enough to care. I rest my case. New camera, pretty cool.